what I did is I built out a fully automated credit repair company that I use to build multi-millions of dollars. People want the systems. They want the process. They want the whole business in a box.
What's going on, family? David Shands. I want to give you a special invitation to the Morning Meetup, themorningmeetup.com. It is the only organization that gathers every single morning, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we help you learn entrepreneurship, grow as an entrepreneur, become an entrepreneur, or you just get to be in an environment, a network of all entrepreneurs. Literally hundreds of entrepreneurs gather on a Zoom call every single morning, Monday through Friday, okay? So I want to give you a special invitation to help grow your business and your brand all this year, okay? Every single day. You eat every day for your health. You brush your teeth every day for your hygiene. I need you to learn and grow every single day for your mindset, okay? So make sure you go to themorningmeetup.com. It is only $1 trial. You don't need a promo code. Just go $1, themorningmeetup.com. Check it out. If you like us, stay. If not, after that, it's $79 a month. But I'm pretty sure you're going to enjoy yourself, okay? So go to themorningmeetup.com. I love y'all. See you in the morning.
The Social Proof Podcast. Streaming now on all platforms.
Welcome to another edition of the Social Proof Podcast, where we find the dopest people that do the dopest stuff, and they're able to teach how they did the dope stuff that they did. Because not every great cook can teach people how to cook. So we try to find people who can teach you how to cook. And we have a very special guest, Mr. Harper, Derrick Harper. What's going on, man?
Man, I can't teach you how to cook, but man, I'm hanging in here.
You didn't teach people how to get this bag, though.
I could teach them how to get the bag.
Yeah, I am ready to learn.
Hey, well, I guess if they get the bag, they can hire a cook, and they won't have to worry about
it. Big facts. Well, look, for those that don't know who you are, because you are an introvert, you don't be out there like that.
Yeah.
But you have built and it's been a pleasure to watch you actually build a phenomenal business. We've known each other for years, and I mean, you were Michelle.
Come on,
Was that Michelle?
That is Michelle.
Does she know we're recording Michelle? We're recording a podcast.
Okay. Slamming doors.
All right, so just to let you know, this is actually a real janky setup. I know you guys look at it and you're like, oh, it's so professional, but people be walking in and out and talking as planes flying over, but y'all rock with us anyway, so we love y'all.
We appreciate it.
Okay, so go ahead and introduce yourself, man, to the people.
Yeah, I'm Derrick Harper, on all social media platforms, Derrick Harper Sr., but I'm just a servant, man. I found like all the mistakes I made and just like fixed my problem and just started fixing everybody else's problem with just a solution from mine, right? So that led to me creating something called Point Boosters, which was a credit repair company years ago, right? Just to help people based on like, you know, us foreclosing on a house, us getting the car repoed right after going to get the stuff, you know, from the foreclosure, right? And finding out that they violated our rights all the way across the board and then getting life together again just from that mistake. Made one post on Facebook and next thing you know, it's a credit repair company, right? So
how long ago was that?
That was like 2008.
Oh yeah. Oh, so you've been doing this.
Yeah. No, that was before, I got in at the right time because right then I didn't know everybody was about to lose it all, right? Yeah. And they was gonna need us at the rate that they needed, right? So
right.
It was just, you know, and it was crazy because, you know, my daughter and Kayla was pregnant with our son. And in the state of Georgia, I found out the hard way, 90 days late on your mortgage, you losing that joker, right? And you know, but I'm stubborn. I'm like, bro, they're gonna have to put me out. I didn't know they really do that, right? You know, I didn't know they like send the sheriff to say, you gotta go, right? And then if you know, stubborn, then they're gonna come move you. And that's what happened. But when they came to move us, they got all of the things to be able to move everything out. We pulled back up. And they was putting our stuff out. And I didn't know we was gonna have to foot the bill on them putting our stuff out either. So I was like, man, I would have went over here and
how do you do that? Hold on. So somebody sends, like when you get foreclosed on, the bank sends.
Well, yeah. So they, the sheriff comes first, right? And then they let you know, hey, and because you know when you running from debt, you don't show up in court. It's kind of like, bro, I don't have no attorney.
Right.
I can't even pay the mortgage, right?
Right.
So it was like, yeah, you show up, and then, you know, they kind of give you a little thing basically saying, hey, you got to go, right? And then when you don't go, then it was like, all right, now the bank owns the property. And so, you know, then you could say, all right, I'm going to try to be a squatter. But then the bank auctions the property, and then somebody gets the property now, right? So then when they get it, you know, they do the eviction thing, and then when you're stubborn to that, then they can send somebody to move you out of their property.
Dang.
Yeah, and but the bad thing about it is when they had, and you're gonna have to foot the bill too for the moving people.
When do you pay that?
They just put it on my credit and I got it removed. That's the good thing.
They put it on your credit.
Yeah, because it was a debt that I owed. But the rock bottom part though is, you know, when my wife and I got married, it was we were young, we eloped. Like I was like 19, right? So little knucklehead. So her dad always like, yeah, I don't like this fella. But so imagine having to borrow money from him to rent a U-Haul to go pick our stuff up in the rain. But the part that really hit us is when we pulled up, backed the U-Haul in, had my cousin with us and everything, right? And she pulled the Maximilian behind us, and then they repoed the car while we was getting us. Literally, because we was running from the repo man, hiding behind the house the whole time. Because it was a rock bottom moment, right? And so it was just out in the open. We thinking that, man, what's the chances of, you know, they ain't looking for it like that.
At this exact
And they
time.
definitely came and snatched it. So running behind him, right, just to get the baby seat out the car and all of the other little stuff out the car. And it was like, well, you got to give me the key. And then handing over that key was like, man, we done lost it all. And yeah, so I just used that moment. What was crazy is, you know, you don't start really like paying attention until you stumble. Like, you know, you can run around the track 5 times with your earbuds in. You're not thinking about the track because there's nothing in the way, right? But the moment that you stumble over something, you're going to get up and look around like, man, what was that? It was there the whole time. You just didn't pay attention. So that rock bottom moment made me start reading about credit, right? And I'm like, man, I got to read this, read that. Come to find out.
What were you doing as a profession at this point?
I had just left the Air Force. And I was getting ready to like do the business thing. And this is before I got the overseas job at Lockheed Martin to actually fund the business, right? So I started reading, and found out that the developer that sold us the house and the broker who was actually on the closing documents was married, and they didn't disclose that, and it was a RESPA violation, right? And then I also found, because she had an interest, right? She had an interest in the property or an interest in there, and she didn't disclose it. They had to disclose that they was married at closing or before closing, right? And it was a violation on their behalf. And also,
so hold on. So
what made you search for that?
Well, I was trying to figure out ways of how to like get an apartment, get this or get that, and work on my credit. Because when I was going to try to get an apartment, my credit was horrible because I had the foreclosure and the repo that hit. But and I just started reading, and I was like, wow, they supposed to do that. And I was like, well, and then we found out, because you know, you don't think about it. 2 neighbors down was the actual brother who got a house from the developer of the neighborhood.
So the developer's brother lived down the street.
Two houses down.
Gotcha.
And we, at that time, we used to drink together. So he ran his mouth a lot. So I didn't know, right? But when I read, I was like, oh, that's illegal. They were supposed to let me know that. They didn't let me know that. And then I challenged it, and then I challenged it through the courts and everything, and then it got removed. Then on the car, I started reading about repossession.
So the foreclosure got removed.
Yeah, so it got removed because the whole agreement of the that real estate transaction. Well, I'm not saying it didn't happen, but it was a RESPA violation.
You get your money back though. They should get your house back.
I wish they do that. Somebody didn't have had the house by then, right? I could have sued them for damages, but I still really ain't had money, right? So. Long story short, I started reading. I was like, man, if the house like that, got to be something with the car. And a lot of people don't know, when you go to a car dealership, right, and you go to like a GM, and then GM sells your loan to like Santander or Capital One or something like that. It's not a repossession because Santander never had possession, or Capital One never had possession of the car. It was a contract sale at that point. That means that the collateral, right? I signed a contract, so that written contract was with GM, and they sold a contract, which now makes it a promissory note. Because only one signature is on there. I didn't have the signature from me and Capital One on the note, All right, so because Capital One got the contract sales, just like when you close on a mortgage, they sell it to somebody. Mortgage is a promissory. Student loans, when you close on it, they let somebody else serve as a promissory, right? Because the new servicer don't have a written agreement with you guys, so it's not a written contract; it's a promissory. So they never had possession to have repossession of the car because I took possession from GM. You see what I'm saying? And
Not
got it
from
removed.
Capital One or Santander. So then if Santander or Capital One acquired your loan from the original dealership and they're reporting it as a repossession, it should only be reporting as what, a charge-off?
Charge-off.
Right.
Yeah.
So if they're reporting it as a repossession, we dispute that all day.
All day.
All day.
All day long. Yep. Because you know you got to look at the collateral. Who had collateral when you took possession? Who did you take it from? It's kind of like the student loan can't. I guess they don't have anything to repossess. That's why they don't do a mortgage as a repossession, because it's 99% of the mortgages you're gonna close with a company and they're gonna sell that. It's a promissory note.
Mortgage isn't a repossession.
No, it's a
because they don't. Oh, they don't take
foreclosure.
the.
Yeah, it's a
Gotcha.
foreclosure, and so they actually got to go through the courts. But as far as like reporting, but you also notice though that if you go and get like a timeshare reports as a
As
repossession.
a repossession.
Because
Yes,
they
it does.
repossessing it. You got possession on that timeshare from them on that loan, but they can repossess that and take back until where they
Because
can take it
they're
away. So they
still
actually,
managing the financing.
I get it. Okay, all right. So you're getting smart in this thing, right? So you're leaving the military. You get out. How you get behind? Don't military?
Yeah, that's what I'm like.
well, so in the military, man, they give you everything, right? When you fresh, right? Because I had a top secret clearance, and you got to keep the credit on point, right? But so I was jumping on the bubble of I'm getting out, I'm going overseas to work, right? So I got hired with this company called Mantech, and they had told me, hey, I was gonna make $184,000 a year straight to Iraq out of the military. But they didn't win the contract after they hired me, and then I had a whole wait period of when I was gonna do, and they didn't have any money.
Golly.
Yeah.
So did they help you get that job, the military?
Yeah, no. So because I got my degree and all that when I was in my experience, but because I was doing tech when I was in the Air Force, right? And then so I had my clearance, and the job required a clearance.
Right.
But that waiting period, man, that 6-7 months of waiting when you just don't have that check, the military to go back to, you ain't really used to it.
Right.
And so I kind of got caught up into that. I did security for like $13 an hour at night, but that wasn't good. That's just gonna feed the baby.
Right.
Right. Right.
And don't nobody know you're doing it, so it's like on the low.
Exactly.
But you had these. I'm sorry. You had these aspirations to be an entrepreneur, right? Because you said you were going to try this business thing.
I was gonna try the business thing. I didn't know what the business thing was then.
The business thing. I'm gonna try this little business thing.
Try this
So
business
because
thing.
it wasn't supposed to. Because after it was like the MySpace era. It really, Facebook wasn't really popping like that unless you was in college, right? So I was putting stuff on MySpace, venting about the thing, and everybody was like, "Bro, I need help with that. I'm going through that." And then it turned into more of a hobby, right? And then they called. Lockheed Martin called and said, "We won the contract, but we had your resume. That 184 that they was gonna offer, we're gonna match that and give you 6,000 more and bring you in at 190." But you get 21 days home a year. But at that point, after losing everything and learning the process, I was like, "Oh, we got this thing down now."
So you didn't go.
No, yeah, of course I went.
you went- okay,
I
you
went
went
to
over there.
Lockheed?
Yeah, I went to Lockheed in Iraq. And,
In Iraq?
Yeah, it was in Iraq.
Okay.
So I did a few years in Iraq and Afghanistan.
Yes.
So at that point, then the business thing was off the table.
No, I was that guy in Iraq. It was like,
Oh,
bruh,
fixing all they got.
yeah,
What?
bruh, I'm
You
like,
in Iraq?
and those
like,
contractors, they make a lot of money over
Yeah.
there, but they
Tax-free.
spend it just as fast.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I was over there just like eating, and it's like, the average person over there, like with Lockheed, was doing what, $3,000-4,000 a week. So I'm like, bro, it's $1,500, it's $2,500, it's $3,000. They like, yeah,
Do it.
and let me go ahead and then and because most of them, they go over there to try to buy a house and all that when they come back. But at that point, what was crazy is, because that was the only thing, the foreclosure and the repossession was the only thing on the credit. But then it dropped off just in enough time for Lockheed to hire me and then run the credit check for me to be able to get the car. And then I found this site called Relay Rides at that point. and I started using Relay Ride. It's called Turo.
Turo,
now.
right? Yeah, that was Turo
Wait,
before.
when was this? Really,
This was like back in 2010.
So the Turo concept isn't necessarily new.
No, it was Relay Rides. Like I didn't know anybody using it then. I was, when I say I was killing it, I got a Jaguar. So we went right back into like, we gonna get stupid, right? So I got a Jaguar.
We cleared up all the irresponsibility and
we
went
gonna go
right back into it.
being
Let's
irresponsible.
get it.
Yes. So then I was like, bro, I'm making money now, and
Yeah.
I got good credit again, and so I got.
You're making money from over there and credit repair. So double.
So not really credit repair. Credit repair was my hustle. So it wasn't like something that was gonna be long term. It was just like my hustle, right? But then I got the Jag, and then I got my wife the BMW. And because I was over there, my wife was like, I'm tired of moving this car back and forth and this and that. And then I found Relay Rides because somebody over there told me about Relay Rides. Like, when I get home, I'm going to rent this and that off Relay Rides. And I'm like, man, what's Relay Rides? They was like, well, you can make money off the car you ain't using. I'm like, bro, I got a Jag I ain't using. And I start killing it on Relay Rides. When I say killing it, the Jag payment was like $900. I was making like $1,900 a month off the Jag.
Get out.
Yes, I was, because it was fresh.
And this is 2010.
This was like 2010.
Yo, why are we late?
we late.
No,
Why
I've
we
been
so late?
I've been talking about it on my Facebook Lives for like, man, some years. Like when Facebook first started Facebook Live, I was talking about it was already Turo then though.
Do you
So
still do
Relay
Turo?
Rides did transition into Turo.
Yeah, it's
not-
Turo now. It's the same
Okay,
company.
it's the
So
same company.
Relay Rides, they was getting in a lot of trouble from the whole insurance thing until they got it together, and then they got infused with a lot of money and then turned it into Turo.
Did somebody buy the company or something?
You
know?
I ain't dig that deep. I was just worrying about if I was gonna get money or not.
And you still have ride? You
Yeah,
still
I
have
got
cars?
I got like 9 cars on there now.
Really?
Yeah.
Are they all in Atlanta?
Some of them are, and I got 2 of them in Orlando that my cousin pick up and drop off. Yeah,
Gotcha.
the Denali, that's why I got that on there. I still got the Lincoln on there, the Camaro, the Mustang, the I can't even remember. The Jag still on there, the BMW.
Yo, tell Donnie to put her truck. She's got this beautiful Mercedes truck, and she's so in love with the car. I'm like, yo, rent that thing out, man.
Yeah, it's a liability now if you're too attached to it. You gotta make it an asset.
So I have a Mercedes truck, and I have my favorite truck, which is my GMC Chevy, my GMC truck. It's it's a Chevy Equinox. I love that car.
Oh yeah.
Love that car, right? But then when I bought the Mercedes, I'm like, I love that car too. So one of them needs to go.
But none of them are on Turo right now,
None
right?
of them are on Turo because I like them both. Like, I know my
Just because you like them doesn't mean somebody else can't drive them
Yeah,
and
put
make
the
money from
Mercedes
them.
on there the right way. And
What's the right way?
I mean, so what I do is I register my vehicles under the business, right? And then all my employees get a Turo account. So what I would do is I would put the same vehicle, one on the south side of Atlanta under my account, my business partner, because it's a business account, a business car, right? And then they're an employee, they will have a Turo account. They will put the same car on the north side of Atlanta. And then one on the west side, one on the east side, and then one centralized. So no matter if you coming into the city, if you put Atlanta,
You
all
gonna
the
see
cars
that.
gonna pop up, and they're gonna be gone like 20 to 25 days out the month.
All of y'all will list the same car.
We list the same car, and then we sync schedules. So if they book it from me, then y'all close y'all dates off. But they automatically gonna be gone because like a lot of us
Look at his
might be
mouth.
right
Look at
outside
his
that,
mouth.
Yo.
right outside the cusp, right?
That's
so
crazy.
if they put a 30-mile radius on their search, and then you 32 miles out, guess what? Like right now, if you put this and this is 32 miles out the airport, Turo focuses on the 25-mile radius, right? If you barely fall outside of that, you're not going to be up there with the rest of them. So based on where they put in, if they put ATL, that means that it's going to automatically attach to the airport. If they put Atlanta downtown, it's going to automatically attach to the centralized Atlanta location, right? You outside that 25-mile radius, you be listing at that point.
But you never had a situation where 2 people booked it almost same time, or you
So I
missed
stopped
it?
instant booking for that reason.
Gotcha.
So that's the
Gotcha.
main reason I stopped instant booking. I did instant booking, and I started getting bad reviews because they instantly book. I ain't even know.
Right.
And then now nobody knows to check to do the schedule. So all they do now is that when one is requested, you go and you got logins, right? So you just go in there and close all the other ones out and just approve the one that got requested. And
Gotcha.
Then,
So you have them all listed under your business entity. If I purchased my vehicles in my personal name, because I made the mistake of doing that. It was really silly. So now I have 3 vehicles on my personal name, right?
Gotcha.
And I want to buy another car like next month.
Mm-hmm.
How difficult is it for me to take my current vehicles and register them at least under my business name?
Your business. So my CPA personally and my attorney told me not to give that advice out publicly anymore. Because
This isn't public. It's just us here.
It's just
yeah,
us.
but you got haters on the internet too, though.
So we can talk about this off camera.
We definitely will talk about it off
Okay.
camera.
All right,
Yeah, and I want to just give the game away. So
Can you?
My attorney.
Why can't you though?
So because when you build influence, right, and this is why I've always been an introvert, right? When you build influence, and I'll get into like what I went through in 2019 that just made me want to just like go in the closet and just blow my brains out, right? And I'm being honest with you. Because when you build influence, everybody ain't gonna applaud that.
That's true.
And some people are gonna be like, man, why is everybody listening to him? God, when he speak, God make everybody listen. And I'm saying the same thing, but they ain't. So if I take him down, then I'm gonna be next up, not realizing they could have been next up anyway. Ain't have nothing to do with their journey, right? So it's like, hey, I had somebody file a bar complaint, and they ain't even an attorney, right? Saying that I was unauthorized practice of law, and then hit the IRS up saying I was giving tax advice. That's how, as an influencer, man, what you say is, we say stuff to change the world, to help the world, but there's always somebody out there to say, hey, let me take this guy down because they didn't, somewhere along their journey, they forgot that they're on their own path and they thought that you was in their way.
Okay, give the advice that like you're not like somebody told you some bad advice or somebody told you some advice. Just tell us the advice somebody told you.
This ain't legal advice.
This is not legal advice.
It's not legal advice.
But what's
I
funny is
heard-
I always used to say that in my lives though.
But you have to.
But then they say, you gave the disclaimer, but then you gave legal advice. I'm like,
Right.
oh Lord. So there ain't no
Just
way
tell us
around
what
that.
somebody told you that you're not 100% sure if it's right or not.
Gotcha. So, and this works. Well, I see here. I go.
Tell us. They told you.
I want him to answer my question.
I know. I want to hear the answer.
But and so somebody told you how I could potentially make
I'm gonna
that
tell you what
happen.
I've seen somebody do.
Okay.
There we go.
There we go. There we go. That's what I'm talking
Teaching people how
about.
to strategically listen, right? No, I've actually seen people set up their boards and sell their car to the business at fair market value. But
Say it again.
Say
it again.
At fair market value, right? I've
People-
also
People
seen
sell
people
their cars to their business.
at fair market value, I guess.
Okay.
The tricky thing about that though is when you got that business vehicle, and then because if you do it and you have the corporation set up, what I've seen in their case and what they told me, if they had a corporation set up the right way and it's truly a business vehicle used 100% for business, then it's easier to do. But some people messed it up. And they were like, that's why you get audited quick. And some people used to take their car and then sell it to their business for $1. You see
And
what I'm
that's
saying?
not fair market value.
And it's not fair market value. And then they ain't dumb. I mean, so that's basically triggering an investigation. And
I wonder why that person wouldn't just, since they're selling it to their business, why wouldn't they have just sold the vehicle to themselves, say for $50,000? Like, why wouldn't I just go and sell my business, my vehicle for $50,000?
you got to have a need for that vehicle in that business.
I do.
Gotcha.
So let's say I legitimately do. I really only drive that car for work purposes.
Okay.
If I sell it to myself for $50,000, the $50,000 that I'm taking from my business comes to me, and still I possess the money, right?
Well, so it's basically a title change, but they're not going to give you the title if you got a loan on it, right? So what it is it's basically if you're selling it to a business, well, what I've seen, this is not tax advice again, I've seen people sell it to the business and then they get the money from the business and then pay the loan off.
Understood.
Some people try to maneuver
I'm so
their
lost.
way.
I am so.
Well, so some people.
Hold on. Give me your question. Your initial question.
So my initial question was that I financed the vehicle in my personal name.
Yep.
I was interested though in transferring the registration into my business name
Oh, to
Because
get it
you're
out
using
of
it
your
for business.
name.
because I am using it for
it's a
business. I want to
business
get it out of. It's right now. It's registered in my personal name. Can I, with it being financed under my personal name, register it under my business because I really do use it?
I've seen people, because I'm not a CPA and I can't
Sure.
get tax advice. I've seen people
You're
do
doing
that.
good, Derek. You're doing real good.
No, and I did. I've seen people Because now you got a business use for it. You bought it personally, right? But your business has a bigger need for you. So I've seen people, make $400,000, $500,000 in their business, right? And then they say, hey, our business now needs a vehicle, right?
This is
so
facts.
the business at fair market value, I've seen people now their business, because the business is standalone. Now, single member LLCs, you might you might raise some red flags there because they like, well, you're the only member, you kind of selling it to yourself. But when you the people that I've seen that registered, even if they're LLC, that filled out that 2553 to be elected as an S corp, now that's a business that's separate from you as a person, and then now you actually have a corporate veil. You're separate from the business at that point. So if that business has that need at that point for a vehicle, I've seen that business buy that vehicle from the person,
individual.
and then that person take the money and pay the vehicle off. But now, you see what I'm saying? So basically, it's kind of like the business, all right, I'm buying it. And then now that business gets titled with it and then put it on Turo.
The business gets titled. Okay, but the mortgage, so now the loan is in the business name.
Well, it's not a loan
it's
because
not
the
a loan.
business already
You
paid for
saying
the
just
cash.
pay for it cash?
Yeah, now if you built
So if you got the
business-
cash, why don't you just?
Well, because she already financed it.
Gotcha.
You see what I'm saying? So if she paid it off personally, it's kind of like...
So there's no way to just carry the loan for somehow to the business take out a loan on the car to still pay the car note, so that the whole thing is just out of.
Well, if the goal is I don't want to pay lump sum, you got to realize if I'm a S corp, this is just my opinion, right? If I'm a S corp, I personally, because I love asset protection, I'm personally broke, right? I don't want to be rich personally. I don't want to have money. So now if I take and spend $50,000 and buy a car personally when I'm broke, did the money come from the business? You see what I'm saying? So I personally don't have money to just run around and just buy vehicles, right? But my business does, and my business can. So I see her point. Yeah, the business might can pay it off without raising red flags because the business has the money, but maybe she's not pushing that money to her personal account to be able to just grab 50 and pay it off. So it's easier for that business to buy it. That's what I've seen people do.
Gotcha.
You see what I'm saying?
So, but there's no way for the business to have the loan.
Yeah, you can build business credit. So I mean, 14, man, you can get 14 lines of credit. I personally know banks that are fund Rolls Royces, Lamborghinis, right? With no personal guarantee. You see what I'm saying? So
Really?
yeah.
need to get
So,
into
Call
that.
some of those companies. I'm just gonna,
well, I know. I,
take a few notes here.
no, I even know like the business department at the local PNC here. I got a relationship with Frank over there. And first thing he said was, but you can't just be because some people, when they talk about business credit, they go to Uline Quill, they go get and they don't spend over $2,000 and then think they're going to go get a Rolls Royce or something like that. That ain't going to happen. So if you got the capacity there and you actually doing numbers, I was actually talking to good dude, man, Justin, him and Corey, they business owners. They doing numbers. Yeah.
Oh, Smart Black College.
Yeah, and they doing numbers, right? So like it would work for somebody like them, and because we was just on the conversation about it, just brainstorming about it.
And just for the audience to understand, what would you say the minimum is to be doing numbers for this to work?
Yeah, I mean, they not just gonna give you a $300,000 loan for a Rolls Royce if you ain't hitting like 1.5 in your business.
Okay.
Million, right?
Gotcha.
So it ain't one of them like, all right, let me go and pimp the system and then get a Rolls Royce, because they know you ain't gonna pay it. I mean, the businesses, especially without a PG, right? They looking at
Personal
14
guarantee.
high personal guarantee. Yep, they looking at high capacity lines. Because it's three things: capacity, credit, or collateral, right? Or cash flow. It's 4 C's, right?
Capacity.
Capacity.
Explain what capacity.
Huh?
What do you mean by capacity?
Capacity is how much can you handle in debt, right? And then you got cash flow.
And that's based off of cash flow.
Well, no, cash flow is cash flow. Like, hey, I'm generating $1 million a month through here.
Well, what's the
right?
capacity based
So
off of?
capacity is how. So if I have a $100,000 vendor account that I've been taking care of and it's been good, I know that I can handle 100,000 in capacity, right? So cash flow is different. That's just cash flow, and then you got collateral. So do I have a building or some tractors or some trucks that I can get a loan against so that now you actually own the collateral, right? And then credit. So a lot of people, even though they have business, that's where that PG comes in, because personal credit will actually help out. That's why like a lot of people go get those Chase cards, Chase Ink, even though it's a personal guarantee, but it's reporting on your business credit and it's not gonna ever report monthly on your personal credit. So that's where the credit side come in. And so when you build 14 lines, and a lot of those lines are high capacity lines, and I got a grid, I just don't have it on hand right now. Wish I would have like prepared, because I didn't expect you to ask that. I got a grid that can actually walk you into those 14 lines. But
Can you send me like a link that I can put on?
yeah, so I'll share the link, that way you can do it on there.
Cool.
But one of the requisitions is prerequisites is they have to be making money though. Whatever you're trying to get fleet wise, they got to know that you ain't just gonna shut down. And in order to get something like a Rolls Royce or a Lambo and all of that on the business credit, they will pull your tax return. So it ain't like I'm having a good year and they ain't gotta. And if you still a LLC single member and all that, they're gonna still pull a 4506T from the IRS to prove that you actually making the money.
So I know that you are not an attorney and you're not giving any advice.
I'm not giving any legal advice.
Can you just tell me, friend to friend, are you set up as an S corp?
So I'm set up as an LLC and elected to get taxed as an S corp. So what that means is I'm getting taxed as an S corp, but I have full control of my operation. So financially, I have a corporate veil. Because I did an S corp elect form through the IRS, and that's a form 2553.
What
right?
does that save you? Because I'm in LLC right now, but I was literally just thinking about transferring to an S corp. But
so what I hear people say, because I don't give tax advice or legal advice, is when you're a single member LLC, you're really not getting taxed any different from sole proprietor. Right. So let's take 100,000 that you just made, right? So that means every dollar that you make, 15 cents going to Uncle Sam as a self-employed. You know, so now you're paying self-employed tax. The only way you can get out of paying self-employed tax, or I've also heard some CPAs, and well, I guess these are Clubhouse CPAs, so I haven't vetted them yet, right? So
got some advice off the stage.
Yeah,
I've been some Clubhouse trillionaires.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
these are Clubhouse CPAs. I've heard some say, hey, well, you know, everything is always based around a $50,000 threshold, right? So some said, hey, well, get a C Corp and then let that C Corp get registered as an S Corp. And I guess that can be good too, but because that C Corp still, you know, I mean, you still have a lot of double taxation with that, because at the end, whoever's over that C Corp still holding the bag as a self-employee, right? So the S Corp creates that corporate veil and makes you a corporation and separates you from the business as far as your taxes, right? So you get rid of that 15.3% self-employment tax because you're not self-employed as a corporation. That's why they call it a pass-through entity. So what I've seen people do, and the reason why I elected to be an S Corp, is because all of the money that I ever take in, wherever you take money in, that's what's taxable, right? That's why people use LLCs as holding accounts, because they will take it in through a LLC. That's the part that's taxable. Push it to take it in through a S Corp, and then push it to a LLC, because if you push it there, that's not a sale, that's a holding account, right? And so, but you're paying taxes on what you took in so in other words, you're taking $100,000 and you elected to be taxed as an S Corp. Now that account that you're taking that $100,000 in doesn't have self-employment tax. So if you take $100,000 in, you get to save that $15,300.
Got you. So I'm an LLC. I bring in $100,000. I have an LLC. What do I do to create this whole little circle you just created?
So what I would recommend doing, and I can't give tax recommendations, this is if I was you, I would personally file, and this is not tax advice again, for the haters out there. Anyway, so if it was me right now in that situation and I'm making over $50,000, I would definitely go to the IRS.gov and look for form 2553, S Corp elect. Right?
2553.
2553.
S Corp elect.
S Corp election. And then you're electing to be an S corporation, which means that you're electing to get taxed as a corporation instead of a self-employee.
Hold on. Okay.
Yeah,
what
form
is
2553.
it? Form 2553.
And that ultimately is the biggest impact for that, is to save us that 15%.
Yeah, because that 15.3 just is well, because if you calculate Social Security, right, and the Medicaid, that's that 15.3. So it's no difference than working a 9 to 5, right? Because you're gonna some companies between what they max and what you pay, that equals that 15.3, right? So you're paying the company's portion and your portion as if you were employed, that 15.3 coming out regardless. as a self-employee. So let's say if I'm working a 9 to 5 and I make $100,000 on my 9 to 5 or whatever. But you also got to realize that, say listen, I'm working on my 9 to 5. The company gonna pay your Social Security and Medicare or whatever up to a certain amount, right? And then you're paying your portion of it. That portion combined is that 15.3. When you're a sole proprietor, you ain't got nobody floating that other half for you. So it's pulling because you're the employer and the employee because you just a self-employed at that point. So that's where that 15.3 is coming from.
But what if you have employees?
If you got employees, whichever left over after payroll, let's say if you make $200,000 and your payroll is $100,
Same
you still
thing.
left with $100,000. You paying 15.3 on what's left at that point.
Got you.
So, okay, I fill out the form and submit it, and then I'm automatically good.
Then get with your accountant. No, you have to get with your accountant. One thing that an S corp does do is it opens you up for audits a lot easier because people, just like in anything, man, people take advantage of it. And then they like, hey, just file the S corp. It's like the whole bankruptcy game that people used to do.
Yeah.
Let me go ahead and run up some debt, put it in the business, and then file like a 11 or 12 or like a business bankruptcy, and then boom, it's not gonna hit me personally and all that. People used to do, they close it out, right? And it's not that you can't do it, it's just you can't
Really
cheat the
hard
system
to do
anymore,
it.
right? And you open to so much audit and scrutiny when you try to do it now. My personal attorney actually started in the whole bankruptcy game. She was killing it, right? And she actually still does them. But the way that she broke it down is like it's no wiggle room. There's
used to
no
be sweet, huh?
Oh man, let me tell you, people they knew the credit game and then they knew the bankruptcy game. So like now if you file bankruptcy and you married, it's gonna be very hard for your wife to file bankruptcy the next year. Almost impossible now because if you married, a lot of times y'all assets together, now they making y'all put them in there together now, right? The hustle used to be, I'm gonna run up a bunch of debt, get all this, I'm gonna get like $95,000, $100,000 worth of debt, right? You would go do that, and then you will take that funding and you will build out your business, and you'll pay it off for a year or whatever. And be like, man, forget that. Throw it into bankruptcy, and then guess what? While your credit is taking that hit, what they would do is learn that, oh man, most of these bankruptcies ain't reporting right, so you'll start working on your credit, but then your wife doing the same thing on the other side of on the back end of that circle, running that debt up as well because her credit is good. So and then they would run the bankruptcy to credit game, and it was a hustle, man. Like I ain't saying that that's legal or none of that, right? Because a lot of people actually got in trouble for that, but that was the hustle. And then there was no way to like really prove that this is what we doing. It's not intentional. We just hit hard times. So that's why they start closing a lot of that stuff off. And then they'll say, oh, it was for the business. And then if it was for the business, a lot of times they'll say, oh, well, this is not really a personal bankruptcy. It's a business bankruptcy because we ran up all this debt to get this business stuff, and we can prove that we spent this all on business. So now it's a business bankruptcy. Now your personal credit good again, and they close it off.
Wow.
Oh man, people was eating. But see, we
gotta respect scammers. They're brilliant.
But what's crazy is African Americans didn't get hold of that game till late. It was actually the other side of the tracks that was actually doing that. And then when African Americans got hold of it, man, we started sharing the game and giving it out, and then boom.
Then they changed
it was called a loophole, then now it's called a law that you can't really do that. Don't know what it is. So.
Dang. Oh, when we get hip to it, now it's a law.
Yeah, it's a law.
Gotcha.
Y'all getting out of hand. I mean, that's what was happening. People was eating, man. People was becoming millionaires just off that hustle, man.
Wow.
But they was really building businesses. That's why when you used to see, like, man, these people rich, man. Little Tyler, man, they own tractors and they own this. And all they do is they'll go get these tractors and get all that. Now they got all these contracts with these grocery stores from the farm, but that whole farm and everything was bought off scam debt, right? They built up all this stuff, got the tractors, got the equipment to extract, filed bankruptcy on it. Because it was.
Did you ever do that? I'm just playing.
Nah, I wish I would have known when it was legal,
When it
bro.
was legal.
It would have been a play.
Oh,
It would have been a play, bro.
Gotcha. So you've tell us about your company and how you built it out, man. Because
Which one? Because I got like 7, 8 of them, bro.
you better talk that talk. You better be spicy on here. Okay, so the
which
credit
one?
repair company.
Yes.
How did that become is that the first? That's the first one, right?
No.
Outside of the relay rides.
Harper Trucking. I got a freight broking company since 2008. Never did anything with it until 2010, and it took off in 2010 as well. When I got the job with Lockheed, bro, you couldn't tell me nothing.
That 100 and what,
Just
90?
buying
Yeah,
stuff.
it was like
That
190.
190 was like, let me get that.
But then they also gave.
right.
But if you did right, they also give you a $20,000 bonus. And of course, I'm gonna do right.
And then this is all tax-free money.
The first like 98 of it was tax free.
Yeah.
As long as you didn't, as long as you.
What phone is that ringing?
Outside of the
your
U.S.,
phone.
yeah,
Yeah.
somebody probably pinging me in Clubhouse.
If you could silence the
I need to
notifications.
cut this off.
All right, so you got a trucking company, you didn't do nothing with it. It's how many trucks you got?
4.
You got 4 trucks. You rich.
Nah, bro. I don't.
A little bit.
Nah, I'm just trying to make sure that the kids.
You got a couple
know.
times for sure.
But like he said,
I can buy me a meal somewhere.
he said he's broke.
You
but his
could definitely take us to
business
TGI
is-
Friday.
We can definitely go to Friday.
We can
for
definitely
sure.
go to TGI
Like, the
Friday.
thing, I ain't rich, bro.
Appetizers and
Like,
dessert.
I got these pants from Target, bro. Like, I
Which
don't.
shows me you're rich. That got you a clear side. That
No,
lets you know.
it's
You
like,
didn't
bro.
get the pea coat from Target though.
No, I got it. Johnson and Murphy.
Okay.
And it was on sale for $94, bro.
I love it. Yo, let me ask you, why do rich people, why don't people who have money spend as much as people who don't have money?
Well, it's because the whole purpose of wealth is purpose, right? People don't just get wealthy to be like, bro, I'm wealthy. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like they on a mission. And their mission will create wealth, not their actions, right? So my mission is I don't ever want my family with my last name to have to work outside the family if they don't want to.
Yeah.
So that purpose is bigger than me. I'm talking about grandkids, right?
Yes.
So if I go and buy $1,000 shirt, I'm robbing them of that. Because you know what I can do with $1,000, bro? I can actually incorporate a company. I can get with an influencer, let them market this company. I can create a product and just make $1 million off it and just put it aside. And then imagine over the average 20 years making $50,000 a year. That was actually the average person making $1 million in their life cycle. That's why that $1 million number was big. But I can take that money that somebody paid $1,000 for a shirt, get with an influencer, let them push it all around their social media, joint venture with them, and then make $1 million.
Yep. Yeah.
And so I can take that $1 million and I still don't want to pay $1,000 for a shirt because I can keep repeating the process, right? And then if I keep repeating the process, it's a movement at that point. And then I can take that $1,000 instead of that shirt that created that product. Now let's put real estate in place. Let's buy houses and let's start putting that, because I do want it to where if my grandkids graduate college, why not reward them with a house? You see what I'm saying? And I feel like paying $5,000 or like I can literally buy my wife a Birkin bag right now. But what is gonna do?
Let me ask you this: do you guys own any luxuries?
So let me tell you what's. I got a Rolls Royce. We got a Bentley, and I went half on a Lambo.
Which are all on Turo.
So they won't let the Lambo and the Rolls Royce. They'll let the Bentley do it, right? But so look at it this way: I got the Rolls Royce 1 year old, right? So at 360 brand new. I got it 1 year old, and I got it I car hacked it, right? So I got it. I walked into it with $39,000 in equity. I'm gonna drive it for 18 months and sell it what I bought it for. But the influence that I'm gonna make from that purchase,
Exactly.
right? I'm gonna make $1 million off just having that car, just from the influence of having that car. I'm not stupid enough to go out and like buy that car for just to be seen in it, right? So I use it as an asset. So the luxuries that I get is basically asset purpose.
I get it. Back to your question.
Dang, that was a good answer.
That's a really good answer. And so to answer back to your question, because Derrick answered your question very, very eloquently, I think it's important to point out, though, you said, why do people who have money not spend money as much as people who don't have money, right? And I don't think that's necessarily true.
You're right.
I think there are people who have money with a poor wealth mindset, and then people who have money with a healthy wealth mindset. Because we got rappers and, entertainers and all kinds of people who get all this money and then lose it because they are buying the cars to be seen and the shoes to be seen. When then you have that same a different person with the same amount of money who says, you know what, I'm gonna buy that same car, I'm gonna buy those same shoes, and I'm going to leverage it for impact.
Yeah.
I'm gonna leverage it.
And you know what's funny? So, I don't want to come off judgmental because Rod Wave had one of the strongest bars I ever heard in a song, right? It's hard to tell somebody how to shine when all they know is hard times, right? So
Yes.
I think that if you've been locked out of something for so long, you do want to feel how it feels to have it. And I can't knock nobody on that, right? But to go back to that, think about this, right? So think about the person who
People like
just
to
came up in the money and then they go buy a person, he just came up in the money, right? And he go and buys a $10,000 Gucci outfit. Let's say I go to Metro Mart and I get a knockoff Gucci outfit. I jump out of Rolls Royce, who outfits you gonna think real and who you think gonna fake?
Right.
Because my influence now from having the car is never gonna have you questioning if my Gucci is real. But I could have went and took a photo. The photo shoot is gonna come out the same on the knockoff or the real. So I'm not telling people to go out there and just buy fake stuff, but every now and then you gotta reward yourself. I just think I've been locked out of wealth so long that everybody that I ever looked up to bought this type of stuff, so I feel like this is success. And I don't have the right person behind me telling me that, hey, maybe you need to save for a rainy day or the future.
Gotcha. And I know this question is past what we talked about, but how did you car hack?
Oh, the car hack. So
Before that,
okay.
can we get you to silence those notifications?
Yeah, that thing is killing me. And I want to make sure
two
it's
phones,
not
maybe.
me.
No, it's
No, 'cause
definitely
mine-
Derrick. It's definitely Derrick.
I don't know how to use this iPhone. I
Here,
only
let
use
me.
it for Clubhouse.
Let's go to your. I'm gonna just throw you on. Do not disturb.
Just make sure
Oh,
I'm
see,
good.
I ain't even know
Okay.
that's how it works.
There we go. Okay. So tell me about the car hack. You walked in $39,000 in equity, and you're gonna sell it back for what you bought it for 18 months later.
Yes. So one of the things to always look at is like Mercedes dealerships, and like not the top tier, not like because what happens is Mercedes, right? It's not their brand, but a lot of people trade Rolls Royces, they trade Bentleys, Aston Martins, and for Maybachs, right? Because Maybach, even though it's a real high level brand, it's some consider like uber luxury, right? But Mercedes don't want to have that car on their lot for over 120 days, right? Because it's a non-Mercedes, right? They can't certify pre-own it, which means that I can't add value to this car, which means the longer it sits here, it's going to start driving down. And the longer it sits on the lot, people are going to think things wrong with it. And as long as I own the asset, I got to start paying on the asset, right? So it's easier at that 120 days to just sell it to an auction. So the auction usually gets the rate that you're gonna get because that's what the auction usually gets. It put it back on the dealership, and then when you go and buy it for what it's worth, it's almost $30-something thousand above.
Hold on. Okay, run that back. I missed it.
All right. So let's say I got that from the Mercedes dealership in Illinois.
Yes.
So you
By
can
that,
actually.
what are you pointing that out
The
there?
Rolls
I
Royce.
keep pointing out there like people can see the Rolls Royce.
The Rolls Royce,
right?
okay.
So you do have to do some searching, right? But if it's gonna take me 5 hours to save $35,000 or $38,000, of course I'm gonna search, right? So so you're just looking around and so you start on like Car Gurus, TrueCar, or something like that. And then you start looking at how long it's been on the lot. So I would do my search on all Rolls Royces. And then you can actually filter it by how long they actually been on Car Gurus, how long they actually been on that. And then I go from top to bottom. Whoever's sitting on the lot the longest, I'm gonna start calling from there and negotiate. Because I know that when you see something around 110, 115 days, in the next 5 days, they about to sell that to an auction. So why go and sell it to an auction, have to ship it off and spend extra money and then get it from that rate when I can negotiate to get the rate the auction getting and I'll come fly out to get it though.
Wow. So okay, is this what happened?
Yeah, so
with your
I
car?
called him and I said, how long has it been sitting on the lot and how long, just talking back and forth, get some background, and how long usually y'all, because they're going to try to play hardball. And you can't just take the first thing and then you call and get somebody else. So the second person, you're going to get more information from different people because they want to sell. And my commission on like a Rolls Royce or something like that going to be different than a Camry, right?
Yeah.
So, when you get to that third person, now you know it's been on the lot 118 days, and then you call the second person, had nothing to do with that car right there, and then you talked about non-Mercedes on how long they usually sell them to the auction and how long they usually hold them, right? You done got all your answers that you need. And then what you do is you call and say, hey, I did some background in that car and I realized y'all had it 118 days. I'm booking my flight out there to see it from Atlanta now. But if I like that car, I'm gonna go ahead and buy it. Can we talk? And then now when we talk, say, hey, usually I know that, y'all trying to sell this car for blah, blah, blah. But what I'm going to do is I can make an offer on there of what the auction is actually going to pay for it. And I just throw an offer out there. I always go 30,000 below on a huge, on a car like that. Because I know they leave enough cushion, in there. And then they was like, I don't know if we can do that. Hardball, of course. And then the manager call you back saying, hey, can you put $1,000 on so we know you ain't playing? So it's not really a rush on there. A car that's been sitting out there almost 120 days. And then they come and say, somebody was looking at it. And I say, well, all right, well, go ahead and let them get it. Because if it's been sitting out there 118 days, y'all want to go ahead and sell it, right? And then, you know, they'll be like, all right, they ain't want it. Of course. Now I'm going to talk to them a
course
little
they
more,
ain't.
right?
Of course they didn't want
Right.
it.
So,
They
and
never
then-
wanted it.
Yeah. So the way I
There was
look
no
at it,
human being
There
out
was
there looking
no
at it.
person
so
even
I'm
there.
like, bro, I can just book me a $600 flight because it's the next day, and then I'm going to go out there, and then now they happy to see me take it off the lot. And then
So that car, you
I
offered
literally
them
did that with that.
how much? You offered them how much? 39,000 or
Yeah, so I offered them $251. So I offered them $251.
What was it listed for?
It was listed for like $290. Yeah, so it was literally and the guy that had it was the vice president of like Heinz, the ketchup place or whatever like that. He didn't like how he looked in it, and he liked how he looked in the Maybach, so he turned it in.
Like how we
He
looked
didn't like
at
how
it.
he looked
didn't
at
like
it.
I mean, it's
the aesthetics.
It's
for
not
me.
the same, but I put on some sneakers one time and I wasn't really feeling them. By the time I got to the crib, I took them joints back. I'm straight.
Bro, I literally gave away some Jordans. I'm like, man, they
Yeah,
got me
bro.
looking clumpy. I'm like, bro, like, nah.
Yeah, I ain't like how I
these
looked at
Vapor
them.
Max
I mean, so it's not the same, but it's kind of the same. All right,
It
so
is not the same, but I have a question before we move on from that. How do you know what the auction intends to offer or what they will buy it
You
for?
don't know. But so I done bid it on. I was trying to get my wife an Aston Martin SUV, right? And it was, you know.
Did I even know Aston Martin had
they
SUVs?
yeah.
Oh, I'm like, I didn't even know.
Yeah,
I didn't know.
Oh, they dope, and I wanted her to be like one of the first on the scenes with it. And they had some that you know that's been driven the last year that people turn in. And a lot of it's crazy. Wealthy people, man, they grab these cars and they drive the value of it down. They got really good accountants too, bro. Because the whole purpose of trying to drive that value down so they can write it off as a loss for, you know, and not I'm gonna get a Range Rover and write depreciation and all this off. They got ways of doing it. I don't know how, but I'm gonna figure that out. I got to get on that level of wealth, right? But they turning these cars in all the time, and I'm like, man. So I saw one, and I've been like at them for a week. Them jokers ain't biting. Because everybody ain't got them. So it's kind of like, if you see them, they're like,
Yeah.
oh, man. I think that when the market gets saturated with them and they got competition of them being, because you can go in Google or go Car Gurus and see Rolls Royces everywhere, so you can easily hack that. But the newer ones, so I've been told no a lot. They just said yes to that one. So, you know, I'm going to offer lower, and then some people might say, man, get out of here with that. You crazy, right? And then some people, you know, going to be like, all right. And that's when you know that you didn't hit a sweet spot.
do you buy these cars cash or with credit?
From the business.
Cash from the business?
Well, no. So I got that one. Yeah, I got that one. So I got the Rolls Royce. I bought the Bentley cash from the business, right?
Talking about he ain't rich.
No.
I was gonna get them.
Bentleys are not $30,000.
But I did. So yeah. So I got the Rolls Royce, but I did set the amount of money aside from the business account for that to make sure that it is paid.
Yeah. I mean, because at some point you have to leverage credit.
You got to.
Especially
You
with
got to.
large purchases.
You definitely.
Yeah.
And, you know, so just even with that, you get a lot of incentives for it, you know, like lots of credits and things like that for it. And if I do rent it out for a music video and just things like that, so it's easier to do those type of vehicles, especially if you're going to use it to like leverage like your position and like, you know, just status or whatever. Because what was funny is like my highest one-on-one coaching program before I got the Rolls Royce was like $5,000 a month. I got 3 people in my $15,000 a month program now.
What do you do
Just
in your
off of that.
$15,000 a month program?
Well, see, I built out development centers in India and call centers in the Philippines. So what I do is I just take the average entrepreneur who wants to like get his whole outfit built out. And we got a process called BODY, build, organize, document, delegate. So we build a whole process, we organize it, make sure we got all the SOPs in place, we automate the crap out of it, right? And then we delegate it. So now they come in and they don't have to really do anything, but then they get the business handed to them. And they get, you know, from, because one of the companies that we built out is called IHR Buddy as well. And that's with my, with Ken, my business partner. And we either assign people as like a staffing agency, or we build out a whole outfit and have the team already running a business before it gets handed off to you.
What industry do they need to be in to work with you?
Because the first 2 months of the thing, we're researching and we're learning your industry. But the good thing about it is I have a huge research and development team in the Philippines that has already built out 120 different businesses, down from the websites all the way down to the SOPs, where we just need CEOs to just come plug in. So when they say, hey, I want to start a freight brokering company, You ain't got to go through all that training. We already got them. They know the whole dispatch, and they know where to get loads. They know how to push it. They know how to write contracts and do all that. You just plug into it. We can either joint venture, we get a percentage of the business, you be the face and the influence, or you just pay to get that outfit built. So it's different than learning and then having to go build it again. We realize CEOs don't want to do that. Let us just build it for you, have the dispatchers and all that ready for you. You just go be the face and go make money.
And that's the $15,000 a month.
Yeah, so that's $15,000 a month.
And the first 2 months are spent in research.
Yeah, it's research. And so, and that's to weed out the people who just say, oh, but I done paid 30, don't want to do it no more. Because now that let me know you ain't serious.
All right, come up a little bit.
Oh, okay.
All right, so but you said you do a joint venture thing, right? So me and Donnie ain't got to put up no money.
Yeah,
and we
so
can just be the face.
depending on the influence, so depending on the influence, if we got people that's out here that really know how to push it and be the brand, we would do like a joint venture, but that JV would be like, hey, let's push this for 2 years, but the whole goal is to sell it and to break our percentages up and then go on about our business. Because I just ain't about to joint venture with nobody and be stuck with them for 5 years. Right. You know what I'm saying? So
engagement crazy.
Yeah, our engagement is crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I've been pictured. Like I said, I've been an introvert when we first met. Like that was the vision. But when you have it as a vision, like when you was like, Derrick, what you working on? I knew what I was working on, but you don't tell everybody until like you do it. I done learned like, hey, I'm doing this and doing that, and then you never do it, and they be like, man, he just flow.
Here's the thing, man, because I feel like we could do something. I mean, maybe we need to sit down. We're not going to TGI Friday like Donnie want to go to.
Come on, we're not going to do
that. She's a child, but we want to go to. Like, we need to sit down and talk. What can we do? Okay, give me an example of what we could do. Like, with me and Donnie's expertise in business and influence and things of that nature, what type of business could we create through you where it's like plug and play, we the face, cash out that joint?
This is what I would recommend on you from an influence standpoint, right? People don't pay for your coaching because they want what you're teaching. They pay for your coaching because they want to be you or they want what you accomplish. Sell that. What I did is I built out a fully automated credit repair company that I use to build multi-millions of dollars. People want the systems. They want the process. They want
business
the whole business in a box. Give them that. So now what I do is they say, hey, can you coach me? No, I'm going to give you my whole system. You can get all my automations. You get all this. My developers are going to snap all my logos out, snap all yours in, and you got a ready-made business ready to go. You need 2 people in the Philippines to go ahead and run customer service and dispute. Go ahead and do that. Now, boom, bye. There you go.
How much would you charge for something like that?
That's only $7,500. Because I know the market for credit repair, a lot of people come in and they ain't really making money like that. We just built the software, man, free dispute hub, where credit repair is 100% free now. I got like 20,000 people in that. But we also bought a credit monitoring company. But they gotta have a credit monitoring if they come in and do what they said. They can literally scrape their credit report in. It's gonna automatically show the violations, show the bad accounts. They can click and literally choose their options the way that they want to, and then submit the letters. We also got a mailing center in Mexico, right? It's right there on the border that takes all that digital mail that they API'd and then bring it right there into the U.S. and send it out to the bureaus.
What's API?
API is like an interface to make this software talk to that software.
Oh, gotcha.
So, and we have digital mail, so now ain't no more running to the post office. So through that software, they click, do I want to mail this dispute letter to the bureau? It's going to automatically go to our fulfillment center in Mexico, $3 an hour per person, right? And then they take loads into the U.S. daily, and then, it's going to the bureaus because now it's mailing from the U.S., right? So the cool thing about that is we get paid off the credit monitoring side, and they get free credit repair. You see what I'm saying? So it's like,
I like how you did that.
Yeah,
that was good.
Because now you can service any client anywhere because they're paying for the monitoring service.
And it's so much money in that because what's going to happen when you get your credit, you repaired your own credit, right? And then now we start working. I can't talk about some of the JVs, joint ventures that we got inside of that we're working on. But once we identified it, you got the score that where you can go and start getting funded. Now we got 120 businesses that we can identify that you might want to start. Now I can sell you that because you got the credit. I didn't help you get the funding. Now you can pay to go ahead and get access to your business.
Do you license off the credit repair software? Or not the credit repair. Do you license off the credit monitoring software? So
we working with some white labels. Creating like some white labels for like the credit monitoring side. We just trying to get.
Let me just tell you that's another $10 million.
Easy.
Because there are so many credit repair companies who struggle, like they can't operate in Georgia, for example, because credit repair technically is illegal. It's illegal for you to pay somebody to fix your credit. and then it's so illegal for you to pay somebody up front in many cases to repair your credit. And so now if you are solving this problem for all of these credit agencies, all these credit agencies who are operating real small, they can't really blow up because they don't want the haters to make a claim and say, oh, they're fixing credit, they're charging up front.
Yep.
Now you have a solution for the actual credit repair company, all of them to come and say, I want a white label. They don't have the means.
So for the credit repair companies who want to offer that, we will give them a white label and then we split the credit monitoring.
Yeah, because see, they don't have the means. They don't have the tech. They don't have the people. They don't have the software to monitor this credit. But now Derrick brings that to the table. So let me license this from you, offer it as my company does credit monitoring, and I give you credit repair for free. Because the end game is that you want the customer on credit monitoring month after month after month. Stay on it. You make your money.
And because they got to have, our software was built for our credit monitoring, right? Our developers
God, I love how business
built.
works.
Yeah. And so...
And it's sexy what you're doing.
And it's easy. So like we got 20,000 people. We easily doing over 200-something a month just off that. And it's so autonomous that all I got to do is put my link in my Clubhouse bio, and it's been going crazy. Like I think we had like 600 signups between when Spectac started that room last night and now.
Really?
Yeah.
That's insane.
So like when I say Clubhouse has been detrimental, it's gonna blow the roof off these things.
All right, so listen, back to being selfish. What can me and Donnie partner with you on?
Anything. Like we can brainstorm. Listen. It takes my research and development team 30 days to research anything to build a business out. I'm a CEO. I ain't got time to be doing all that research, right? Their job day in and day out. I got 2 shifts too, so they doing this almost 24 hours a day.
Taking a note.
They're building step by step everything that's required. You and Donnie can come up with some brilliant ideas. Like for instance, we're showing people how to create virtual or ghost kitchens.
Ghost kitchens?
A ghost kitchen, like if you look at Logan's, Longhorn, and all that, 60% of their sales is through like DoorDash, like Uber Eats and all that. So me and Ken done went and bought a kitchen. We done bought a warehouse downtown about this size, right? And we put like 8 cook stations in there. Once you get the inspection through the city, you're good. Now that person who wanted to start the restaurant who don't have that $200,000,
come in the kitchen and cook.
Just get your kitchen spot. And then now we're going to put you on DoorDash, Uber Eats. You already done passed inspection and all that. You come in and you sell, and then now you got influencers who going to push your menu, who going to come in, who going to talk about it. Menu available in Atlanta now. Now you popping up in the center of the city on DoorDash and Uber Eats, and you providing food throughout the city. If 60% of Longhorn sales is delivery, now you just took a market and you ain't got to worry about getting all these inspections, all these permits to build because you already got your kitchen set up. And then now, so we're doing step by step on how to do that. So
think about all these Instagram chefs who are operating out of their kitchen, but they got to stay small because they can't risk being inspected.
And then so now if you come into an already inspected kitchen and you just do a pop-up, now that celebrity chef who want to come in and say my menu is available in Atlanta, that they can come in. And we even creating a cook from the celebrity menu program to where celebrity can actually train people to cook from their menu to be in Atlanta, to be in Boston, to be here, wherever we put these kitchens at, and it's a ready-made business to go. You coming in with your menu. So when I said it's like, it's so many things, bro, that, you know, and so research and development has mapped that whole process out, the cost, the this, the requirements, the inspections, everything. So when I say we sit down, we can map out a business in 45 days, have it ready to go. And then when I told you your influence is to build that business idea out and sell it to the influence, sell it to the other people. Because my goal isn't to like run a restaurant. My goal is to build a step-by-step process of making sure that they're ready to go to be on DoorDash, Uber Eats, and all of that. And then boom, it's plug and play. Now you got, you know.
Are we going to lunch after this?
We are absolutely going to lunch.
Are we going to lunch? You got time?
Oh, I'm good.
Can I get my chicken Alfredo? I saw.
We're not going to TGI Fridays. I'll tell you that right now.
Did I tell you? I saw a chef who needs your services make this chicken Alfredo on Instagram. The restaurants that I like to go to is too fancy of a chicken Alfredo. I just want a chicken Alfredo that tastes like it was made in my kitchen. TGI Fridays is the only place I know.
TGI Fridays chicken Alfredo tastes like it was made in the factory.
It's a blackened chicken Alfredo. We're
100% not going to TGI Fridays. I'm gonna tell you that right now. So, yeah, for sure. No, because this is brilliant. Where the heck you come up with this stuff, man? You got like
you have a
team?
I got a man, bro. So like, that's all I do all day. And the reason I'm an introvert because I'm a geek. Right?
You at home
I'm at home doing. I like rather be home with my family than out. Like I be seeing people on social media. I'm like, bro, they having fun. right? And I'm like, I'll do lunch with y'all, but like, I ain't really like. The Instagram thing is cool. I'm like, bro, like I need to get with people and get my following up. But then I'm like, bro, I'm too lazy to do that. Like I would rather just build, bro. And I'm like, and then the less people know you, the less people can distract you too.
That's facts.
Like for me, it just won't work with, it would not work with me with 200,000 Instagram followers. Because I don't need everybody to know what I'm doing until it's done. So.
Dang, that's crazy. Okay, so we're gonna create a business or something. I'm ready to wrap up this interview right now.
Because you gotta look at that.
Over.
So the information age is done, right? Like everybody like selling information, and that's cool. Like people still gonna buy coaching, but that's still information age. People want to be entrepreneurs, but they don't know how. Make it easy for them. If I make it easy for them, your business is already ready. Just come pay for it. If you make it that easy, they'll pay for it. Testimonials of, hey, I was struggling with starting my restaurant business and this and that. Now I went in there and I created a ghost kitchen, and now I'm doing $50,000 a month, and everybody know me. I'm opening up 3 other locations now, and I didn't even have to raise all this money. I was able to get enough money to buy my food truck and put it here and blah, blah, blah. We even got a food truck that's gonna go around the city, and it's gonna have 5 different restaurants on it. How many food trucks you seen with 5 different restaurants? The ghost kitchens is cooking the food. Now all you need is one runner, right? When the food is running low, they just running food right back to the food truck. So now those 5 restaurants that pitched in that say now we just paying $5,000 a piece for the food truck, they getting their food sold all around Atlanta, all around Orlando, all around Miami, all around Vegas. And then Vegas, you can add CBD to the food, and that's all they buying. So I mean, and it's just, man,
you know what's beautiful? You said something about the information space, but what you do actually is 100% in the information space.
No, it is.
It's 100% in the information space, just on a done-for-you platform. The information space will never die.
No. So it transforms, right?
Oh, it evolves for sure.
People are not okay. So if I say, hey, I want to walk you through this process for $25,000 right now to show you how to set up your kitchen, to show you how to do this, or hey, for $25,000, your kitchen set up. You're good. We already got the graphics team that's gonna work on the menu with you. We got the marketing team, and I got some JVs set up that's ready to promote you when you're ready to go. And we're gonna have a launch team, we're gonna have a promo team and all that. Boom, $25,000 in 3 months. We're gonna have you set up. We're gonna have your workstation, your menu gonna be out, Instagram page, direct where they can order from. Which one would you pay for $25,000
that
for?
One.
The second.
I want the done for you.
So
all
it's
day.
and when you got the done for you template done, you ain't reinventing the wheel no more. So it'll take me more to give them the information and more of my time one-on-one to get that $25,000 than to have it done for them. Because I can replace me in the process.
Yeah, all right, this interview's over. Golly, y'all got enough information. Now it's time to go build something. But okay, so last things. You have a bunch of partners, right? You partner with a lot of people. I made a Clubhouse room this morning that said collaborations and partnerships suck.
Sometimes, yes.
Sometimes they do suck. How do you create these partnerships and collaborations that actually work?
We will never work on a business together. Either the idea is we're gonna start this business so you can run it, but you're gonna be the face of it. We can build it out and we can think through it together. I think the problem is any business that requires 2 minds to be able to, get things done, we might not agree on things all the time. So let's say one person usually starts the vision of, I want to start it, right? They bring the other person in. That ain't really their vision, man. They wanted to do something else. Maybe they was just on hard times and they saw that, man, it's a money opportunity. But when the money comes, what's going to happen? That person that just came in for the money opportunity, their vision changed. While yours is still there, now they pulling from you instead of actually giving it to you. And a lot of people got too much pride to say, buy me out. Right? So it's easier to say, hey, Dave, let's build a business. This is the plan. We're going to build this out. We're going to get some JVs. We're going to get this thing running from 2 years. Let's try to see if we can get $10 million out of this thing. And then, boom, we walk away with X amount of dollars a piece. That's because you ain't building that business to say, hey, we building it forever. So I don't ever do JVs over 2 years. It's a 2-year plan. If it don't work, it ain't going to work. If it do, after 2 years, bro, we're going to have to sell this thing. Because now I'm married. You become married to the people in the business at that point when that you can't do that. You can't really mix You know, because if I'm in a business 5 years with you, we're gonna automatically think we friends. And when we wasn't friends before the business, right? So the business can't make you friends. We could be cool about it, but if something go wrong, we still gotta be able to have those boundaries there. Now, yeah, we can be acquainted, but if we was friends first, and then I try to throw business at you, that ain't gonna work a lot of times anyway. So that's where a lot of the failures come in, because it's like I want to put my friends on, but their vision ain't there.
Wow.
And they ain't got no passion to like do it. They was already talking about doing something else. You pulled them in it, and then they'll be like, "Man, you woke me up." Yeah, but you going back to sleep as soon as you get your money. So it's different though. So I mean, that's
because they're not a visionary, nor are they an executor. So there's no role for them.
Yeah.
So, and I know I'm a visionary, so I can build it out for them to let them run it. I just can't sit there and I hate meetings, bro. I just like, we got to meet every morning to talk, bro. That's nah.
I like that.
I got
like
ADHD.
that.
I forget to show up for the meeting half the time anyway.
Man, this is a lot of information.
This was a lot.
A lot. And really, it was a mind expanding conversation, because you see things a lot differently than the average small business. I mean, shoot, bigger than I see it. It's just, I would have never thought of that. Like, I have some good ideas, but
You got some dope ideas. He's humble on it.
But that's just the way. You know what my thing is? My plans don't normally involve systems and people. So the way that you can see the idea and the systems and the people and how it all connects, and say, listen, we're not working on a business together. Our team's gonna build a business, and then you run it.
Right. And it's easier because you want to start a freight brokering business. We done built it. Go run it.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So, because I can build quietly. So I'm home. I'm geeking out. Now my development team. That's my lifeline, because we building in silence. So while everybody out here like, oh, I'm gonna sell you the class on this, sell your little $200 class, because I'm gonna sell a $25,000 business on demand. I can literally mirror a business into yours within like 72 hours. You see what I'm saying?
Sell your little $200 class.
Sell your little $200.
Forget what Donnie and David do.
No, I'm not saying that. And selling the courses.
For the record, I don't have a $200 class. But
I sell $200 classes sometimes,
forget
right?
what Donnie and David do.
No,
come get this work.
I keep dropping it.
Don't let her distract you, brother.
No, I mean, so I ain't want to sound good. I mean, I sell a $200 class.
No, it's
if
too late now. It's too late.
No, because
It's
you
too
just
late.
convinced me I don't need to be selling
I don't need to be selling
$200. Like $25.
Build it out,
$25,000 here. Take it.
And then they can say, because the question is, everybody ain't got 25 grand. Bro, I got free credit repair. I can help anybody get 25 grand now. That's the main point. I can help the people get the money to pay for it, so I'm never running out of money. All I got to do is just get more people.
You're brilliant.
You are.
Yo, listen, I need y'all to definitely follow this visionary, this CEO, this boss, Mr. Derrick Harper. We gotta go. We're gonna do a quick commercial real quick, okay? And I need you to get something deep and thought-provoking to say to close us out, okay? We got some big stuff on your shoulders right now, okay? Yeah. You have to put all of this whole podcast and put a bowl on top, okay? So we're gonna do a quick commercial, okay? All right, give us a second. So this episode is sponsored by The Morning Meetup, themorningmeetup.com. Themorningmeetup.com is the only community that gathers every single day, 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, for the betterment of entrepreneurs. Derrick, did you know that every morning, Monday through Friday, there's like hundreds of entrepreneurs that gather to, one, be in the right environment, to network with other entrepreneurs from across the country, and they get to hear from me, who I think I'm an awesome coach, or guest coaches, guest speakers, such as Donnie. She's definitely been a part of. You're definitely gonna have to come on if you can, okay? You'll it's a whole lot of humans on there, and I know you're more introverted.
No.
But we offer this program for $1 for the first 7 days to see if this is the environment, the feel that people like, if they can be in a community, if they're gonna get some value from it. And then after that, it's just $79 a month. But we're joined every single day, Monday through Friday. And we have a book club, so we read a book. We just finished The Richest Man in Babylon. Most of those people, well, not most of, a lot of the people, including myself, have not read a book cover to cover in a long time. Some since high school. So we're taking it step by step every day. We read a chapter, a piece, and we end up with the whole book. So it's an amazing program. TheMorningMeetup.com, TheMorningMeetup.com, TheMorningMeetup.com. Enroll. Try it out. It's only $1, okay, for limited time. Okay, I don't know how long we can offer, a $1 trial, but join today and you can be locked in, okay? I will see you in the morning. Donnie Wiggins.
Yep. So, hey, you guys, I am Donnie Wiggins. I don't think I said my name the entire episode.
We didn't do no intro or we didn't find out how we were doing.
I don't know how you did
He
this
just
week.
started going crazy.
He just started going ham. But this episode is also brought to you by Six Figure EDU. Derrick, did you know that I have a program that trains and develops people who are interested in being coaches and consultants from scratch?
Wow.
I teach people how to take that information and turn it into a six-figure plus business. So we do that right at sixfigureedu.com. That's sixfigureedu.com. And I also have a bonus.
What's that mean?
The problem that entrepreneurs have is figuring out, they can take all the cool pictures, they can post all the great videos, but they never know what to say in their caption. And so they end up with all this great content that they've paid for, and they don't know how to post it, or they're not maximizing it. So I created a group called Post to Paid, where I literally will send you to your phone via text message 3 times a day, stories to type out in your captions, and post prompts to give you ideas about stuff to post on your social media, but not just stories and not just captions, stories that sell.
Wow.
Like, I got people who've grown their social media influence by over 1,000 followers in just a 3-week period of time. I have people who are getting brand new clients just from posting the prompts that I send to them. And you can be a part of that too by texting me the words post to paid at 404-737-2767. One more time, 404-737-2767. Come get your stories that sell.
There it is. Mr. Harper, thank you so much, man. You've provided so much value.
We got to have him back.
Oh, God.
You got to do a part 2. I feel like we touched on
I got so much
a few
more.
different things, and we're still like, I want more.
Yeah.
I want more.
Yeah, absolutely. So let everybody know how they can get in touch with you. So it could be a part of your programs, things of that nature.
Yeah, so on Instagram, I'm at Derrick Harper Sr, DerrickHarper Sr. I have a free credit repair program that's kind of designed to get people to do it themselves. Not for the purpose of just having good credit to make Nissan rich, right? But have good credit to make their community rich, build wealth, and start their business and do things like that. So that's at freedisputehub.com, where they can actually go in. The benefit of that is if they join that in like the next couple months, they'll actually have access to me in a Facebook group where I'll be like going through and like giving them education 100% for free. Investment ideas and things that they can invest in as well. You can also find me on Clubhouse talking about credit left and right. So go ahead and get your iPhones. I really pour into Facebook a lot. Derrick A. Harper Sr. on Facebook. That's where I built my following. That's where I built my community connections and things like that. So connect with me on Facebook. And I'm just here to serve, to be able to help people get the funding to walk in their purpose, but to also understand their purpose so that they can actually build it out for the generations to come behind them.
I love it.
Thank you so much, man. Again, thank you. Thank you for joining, man. Just being selfless to pour in, giving people the information, giving people the game, like giving people the back end on exactly what you're doing to accomplish your successful career, man. So if you could just close us out. There's an entrepreneur out there that has an idea, a vision, a dream. They don't know how to get it off the ground. They don't know what they're doing, negative environment. What type of words of wisdom could you give them?
Definitely separate from that negative environment, right? Me, I always used to think that I had to be around a big audience to build, but I like building in silence, right? So what I would tell that entrepreneur is, don't talk about what you're gonna do, actually do it, right? And build it in silence, because it's easier. And I'm gonna just give an example. If I come to you and say, hey, David, I sell websites, man, I got some really good websites, go ahead and buy some from me, you're gonna be like, what? If I come to you the second time and say, hey, David, look at this website I built for you, it's fully functional, it's automated, and this is how you're gonna get people to join the coaching program, this and that, and then I say, what do you think about it? Then you're gonna be like, bro, I need this. So therefore, if you build in silence, and then it's actually a proven system, you can sell the system instead of selling yourself, and that's a good way to start out. Because I'm big on selling systems. I like to build them out first. I like to battle test them so that when I know it's ready, I know you can make money off of it. Then therefore it's easier because I make your life easier. It's 3 reasons that people buy from us: either results or revenue, that the R, right? Entertainment or convenience. So hit the record button. Make sure that you have a way to provide revenue or results, entertainment or convenience, and just build and walk in your purpose. And I guarantee you there's somebody out there that's going to be able to have a use for your system if you do, and you're just going to be the person to position yourself to offer it to them. So if you do that, the amount of money that you're going to make in your life is directly proportionate to the amount of problems you solve, and the amount of each invoice is directly proportionate to how complex that problem is. Just understand those 2 concepts and solve those problems, and you should be all right.
Can't close out no better than that. Can we do it? Goodness gracious.
I can't wait for this one to drop.
Right. This is going to be crazy. Listen, man, make sure y'all go follow my partner, them, Donnie Wiggins, follow myself, and most importantly, follow Mr. Derrick Harper Sr., okay? Do me a favor, go get some social proof, okay? Build something, okay? Then document how you built it, because I want you to go back and teach someone else how you built it. It's the only way our community grows, okay? So make sure you like this episode, subscribe, okay? Leave a comment. We appreciate all of that, and we will see y'all at the top.
Share it. Share it.
Gotta share right now. Go share.
Bye, guys. Go share.